Hello and welcome to my Bedrock Realm review. The world just hit a year old and I wanted to start making YouTube content, and I thought just showing you what my friends and I have made on our survival world would be a fun way to do it. Before we get started, I just want to say if my volume sounds kind of low, I'm sorry. I had the choice to use either my mic on my headset or a different mic, which would pick up the keys on my keyboard and stuff, which make a really loud and annoying sound. I just didn't want that, so hopefully you can still hear me and it all works out. Anyways, I just wanted to give a tour. Obviously, spawn right here isn't very much, and we do have plans for it though. We had a village that was started here. My friend was making, eventually just lost interest and ended up not working on it anymore. Over here we have an island that I started on and am planning to finish. It's like Jurassic World, but we don't have dinosaurs, so we are using frog. It is Frogassic Park. I don't know why we are building this, but it's a fun project we started, and are hoping it turns out good. Here's a mountain that basically popped up overnight, honestly, that a friend is working on. There's gonna be a big library in there, I think, along with a statue memorial. We have floating islands and balloons and houses, but the main thing we're going to be looking at is my base, which is loading in right now. Slightly out of render distance because it's kind of tall, but yeah, I started this world March 14th, 2022. It is fully survival, and my only goal of this base was to make it bigger. It all started with this little starter house I made like day one, and the outside and honestly inside isn't very much, but it's still where I sleep and stuff. It's my enchantment table. I have just a simple brewing stand, which is all I really use still. Furnaces in this room. Down here is a small little villager trading hall, which it's nothing big, but it gave me my diamonds and a couple of the first books I needed to start out a world. Behind it, I have my dock, which I used a lot for fishing early game to get XP, and cooked cod was my main food source back in the day. Just a simple bee farm. This is what is supposed to be a guest house. It's literally like a 3x2 building though. Here's some simple farms, and what was supposed to be a creeper farm. And on this world, I've made about 6 creeper farms, all slightly different, all following tutorials exactly. I've tweaked them on my own to make them work, but for some reason, none of them have worked. Thankfully now a friend has built one and it works great, so we can finally fly around and stuff, but just so weird that they don't work. Got my mending villager in here, and just kind of chaos, honestly. Over here's a little pumpkin pie shop, because for some reason pumpkin pies are our main food source on this world. I don't know why, they're just kind of fun. And this is my cellar, and a cow for some reason. Another portal, which is still the main one I use, and my main fuel source for smelting stuff in a furnace is lava, along with a cactus farm, which is overflowing because I don't use cactus very often. Got some chickens and sheep that have just been pets for a long time, and here is my horse NASCAR, which is a very special horse. I'll talk about him more later, but he can jump about 3.5 blocks high and run about 25 blocks a second. I'll talk about him and how I got him later. Here's a pumpkin pie factory where I get all the pumpkin pies, and I made all the farms for the ingredients to make pumpkin pies, which eventually basically became useless once I got a simple pumpkin pie tray from a villager, which is like 4 times as good. And here's just my storage room and a map of the chaotic base. Just just it became a mess once other people think that my stuff is theirs and they start messing up my chest, but whatever. In my ender chest I actually have, we got efficiency 1 leather armor, which is surprisingly rare. Um, just thought it'd be cool to show that. We got that just recently. Around in the house there's not much. There's a smelting, sewer smelter, just like bridges and all that. Kind of chaos. This map, the base gets kind of confusing sometimes, and I'm just gonna sleep because it's no fun dealing with mobs at nighttime. My bed is gone too. Alright. I've had to retry the intro about 4 different times because I kept spawning in this building even after mining the bed. We're gonna go ahead and take the scenic route up this mountain, which is not natural terrain, as you can see from holes that Endermen have made. Yeah, I built this mountain. Over here I have some pets. A Ravager, which is literally just a temp right now. I need to think of names, so if anyone has ideas for a name for this Ravager, just let me know. I have no ideas right now. I have Captain Sparkles, which is a horse from early game. He isn't fast like NASCAR. And a pig, which is fast like NASCAR, because why not have a super speed pig? I'm not gonna ride him because I don't want to get close to the Ravager, but he's fun. Up this really steep staircase is how I get to other buildings, and this little room is like excess storage for mostly unstackable items, loot I get from end cities and such. I got a barber shop right here. Not, oh, not much in here, but it's a little shop. If anyone wanted me to make a custom skin, I can do that for them. This room, oh, this is a time machine. I'll tell you all about that in a second. Because up here, this giant globe and the axolotl you can see in here. This axolotl's name is Cheese. Cheese is from my Java world that I played about 2 years ago. And he was my favorite pet because he was like my first axolotl I ever got. And eventually I left the survival world on Java and came to Bedrock. But I missed Cheese. So what I did, I made a very realistic and very much working time machine and went back to my Java world and brought him back. One day, I look in that globe and he's missing. the axolotl I brought back from time in quotation marks died. So you might be thinking, well, where is this cheese from? Uh, my my friend brought him back from the dead, which this axolotl has gone through a lot. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. It's confusing stuff. We don't actually have much up this staircase, except it leads up to my castle. It's just a staircase in here. I haven't worked on interiors. And here's a mud slash clay slash dripstone farm. It's definitely not automatic in any way. It's just something I needed. And yeah, at my castle up here, above a Technoblade statue and by a lighthouse, I have a path up to this little gradient wall. I just got inspired from Pinterest and put it up here to fill in space, basically. And this building doesn't have a purpose yet, but I do plan to make interior. It's slightly new, so I just haven't gotten around to anything but the exterior right now. And I don't know what to put inside, so I just haven't yet. Inside the castle, which this room probably needs more work. I don't have a whole lot in it. But at the top floor, I do have the throne room, which sometimes I just like to sit in my room and look at paintings and Assassin's Creed style my way off of the balcony. Right here is my friend's house. I'm not gonna go in too depth with their bases, just because they're not really mine to show off. I will go ahead. We built this today. This is his Lumpy Pumpkin. It's a build inspired off of a structure in Zelda games. We finished this just like an hour ago, and really proud of the build design, honestly. I think it's gonna sell honey bottles in here, which has nothing to do with pumpkins, but it's the closest we could get. Along with I might also sell music in here. So, about Frogastic Park, I was talking to you about how I plan to have a theme park based around frogs. It's, one day we made a hole, and we were trying to think of what to put in it, and my first idea was a frog lab. So we did build a whole lab dedicated to frogs. We don't know why, other than the fact that I wanted a frog. I didn't need an infinite amount of frogs, but we still made this anyways. So about Cheese, my axolotl pet that was brought back to time, died, and then brought back to life. Inside our secret lab for frogs is our secret lab for reincarnation. The lab where we brought back Cheese, which isn't done, which doesn't make sense storytelling wise or in other way, except the fact that we were lazy. This is the lab we would have used if any of that story made sense. And we actually have a lot of plans for this world. A lot of plans that we haven't started yet, or have that just haven't been finished because they take time. We're here is a friend's house. He's been working a lot on just making the city. Again, I'm not gonna go through other people's bases a whole lot. Here's a house that I built for a friend who had other people move in and then moved out. And another friend came in and took it over, and it's been through a lot. Here's the creeper farm I've been telling you about that actually works this time. Other houses that have no purpose other than a build. Over here is the area where I spent an all-nighter breeding horses. How it works is, I had a horse, and as you can see, this horse is pretty slow compared to my other horses. And you would splash a swiftness potion on it and breed it. And after a while, they would get faster and faster every time you bred them, until you had one like I had with NASCAR. Sadly, that glitch doesn't work anymore. They fixed it, so I don't think you can even get these horses anymore. And we did the same thing with pigs, as you can see. But yeah, that's how that worked. Down in this mysterious 1x1 hole of water is a very large hole I have dug out. And you might be wondering what this random layout is stone is. And I'm actually going to make a maze based off of a minotaur from Greek mythology. The maze is going to be kind of complicated because where you can see granite in the floor, there's actually going to be a wall here. But the wall will be set on a timer where it can open and close. Kind of hard to explain, but hopefully every time you go through the maze, the wall will be open or closed, so each time you have to take a different path. You can't just memorize the maze, because every time you go through it, it'll be different. And the goal is to get into the center, and in the center, there's going to be a warden. Yeah, you're gonna have to make your way all the way through the maze, and come into the center where a warden is, and get back out again. without dying, hopefully. And as I'm just swimming out of this hole, I wanted to say this is indeed full survival. Though technically I have used a command once during the Ender Dragon fight. We waited so long to get people online for that dragon fight, and my friend died, and I didn't. He forgot to set his spawn point at the stronghold, and he didn't know how to get back to the stronghold. So instead of doing the fight all by myself, after all the time we waited to do it together, I just teleported him there, and that's the only non-survival thing that we've done in this world. Other than the fact, at one point, I'll show you over here, this bridge of islands leads over to a small island called New Guinea. This place hasn't been touched in a while, but at one point, I have created a custom model of a guinea pig. And the only way I could have gotten that guinea pig in survival is using a command to spawn it in, but... So we had guinea pigs over here for a little while. Eventually, when I turned this world into an actual realm, they actually disappeared for some reason, so it doesn't even really matter anymore. Just like, we used to have guinea pigs, and now we don't, which is a kind of a weird thing to say now that I think about it. There are other builds. There's a villager trading hall and a double skeleton farm kind of across the ocean. And if you're wondering about the back of this base, it is indeed a mess. Yeah, I had built an arena down here, which I accidentally exploded. And as you can kind of see, I have been working on training it, but my goal is to get this base higher. And when I make it higher, it makes building below it harder. And every time I expand, it makes the bottom different. So it's not that I ignore the back, it's just I don't even know what to do with the back of the island. Or the base, I mean. Anyways, I really do hope you all enjoyed the video and liked seeing all of the builds and stuff. I do plan to make more videos on other builds I have, such as maybe Frogastic Park or the maze I made, and other builds pop up all the time, like the pumpkin over here. I hope you all had a nice day, and this cookie told me, oh, not that one. This one told me to tell you to like the video. I'm telling you guys, it just appeared out of the sky one day. It's all-knowing. It seems to be very wise and very, very smart. Anyways, I hope you all had a nice day, and I'll catch you later.